Our kids talk about passion, environment, commitment, their future, what it's going to look like in 50 to 100 years. It's now called futures thinking. So we had some great successes. Youth voice and engagement was our core business. Our kids had heard about it from Severin Suzuki from 1992. She had made a presentation at the Agenda 21 conference about having young people having a right to have a say about their environment and their world, and we took that and put it in the centre of our organisation. So youth voice and engagement is now in the curriculum statewide and federally. But what does youth voice and engagement mean? Are we going to engage with young people and then actually action some of their ideas? And Millennium Kids is built on actioning the kids' ideas. Our young people are involved in working with friends of groups, with tree planting. They're involved in science, citizen science, but their questions become their thesis. We're interested in what we call future education, which is young people doing real work now. If you read about climate change and you think about our 30-year history, we don't have time for young people to slowly work through a year 1-2 curriculum. We've got 7-year-olds ringing us up, talking about the tree assets that are being taken down at the back of their house that are homes to the black cockatoo. And those young people want to do something. They don't want to learn about the black cockatoo. They want to put in tree infrastructure and protect tree infrastructure so the black cockatoo has foraging food for the future. So our kids are having discussion at rules and regulations level. They meet with lawyers and they devise the new rules and regulations, and they go and meet with the minister and say, hey, we got a problem here. The infrastructure the 7-year-old lost at the back, the natural asset, trees, were Cape lilacs. They're not a Minister for Environment's remit because it's an introduced species. But the kids said, but the black cockatoo is under your remit. Why don't you expand your remit? If you're the Minister for cockatoos, why aren't you the Minister for trees that cockatoos eat and forage in? Light bulb moment, says the adult. The beauty of kids is they ask the hard questions. Their curiosity and their innocence means that while you're sitting around the table, they can ask the hard questions that you might have asked when you went back into your inner kid. So we adopted that model and we've had great success. Olwen, who's 15, is heading to Washington in about 4 weeks. She's going to be speaking at the Global Urban Canopy Conference. She's the only young person invited. And she is going to talk about what I call 30 years of failure. Because if we go back to our greening program, we can look at schools that did a fantastic greening program, but then we got, BER money from federal government to build new buildings. And so what we looked at, and out of the mouth of Olwen, 15, she said, at Millennium Kids, we interrogate every failure. Yes, I have just stolen her line. Thank you, Olwen. So we did. We sat down and we looked at 30 years of tree planting at schools, and we looked at why those tree planting programs had educated young people about being passionate about trees, but we hadn't brought the adults along with us. So we took the stakeholder model and we grouped with the stakeholders. We ran an event run by kids at Kings Park, and we invited all the stakeholders. Now, as a bureaucrat, you can't do that. You've got to have somebody high up that asks the minister. But give it to a kids group, you can ask anybody you like and they all come. So we had a stakeholder group of Environment Minister's advisors, Kings Park, the engineers, the people that planted trees, and the kids led a workshop about how we could actually work together to create long-term strategies That meant those trees we planted were protected. One of the kids said, why don't we legislate that every school piece of bushland is protected forever? Make it a lab, green lab. We just set the first precedent in our state. The City of South Perth has taken a lease on the bushland at a local school, and it's in a 15-year lease. They will do the management of that land, they will do the upkeep on the proviso that the school does the environmental education program. Tick. We're now sharing that story with other schools that want to protect that bushland. And I want to leave you with what the head of the UN just said. In 2023, the world is shouting. Humanity depends on the boundless energy, ideas and contributions of youth everywhere. Today and every day, let's support and stand with young people in shaping a just and sustainable world for people and planet. So, are we listening? Will we engage with them by providing meaningful opportunities to make change? And will we all put our work under the microscope and claim our energy because our people and our planet depend on it?